more of you in the art than you realize. And when patterns start to emerge, is really interesting. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have like one question that I can tell you.
No, no, it's okay to explore questions and not have the answers.
No, I think the exploration, yeah, the exploration is part of it, like you said.
I'm not gonna lie. If you at some point like do explore that, like I would actually love if you would like let us know and we could like let the listeners know and everything. Because like, or if nothing else, I would just really like to know, especially like I think that it would be really interesting to explore. Like even though not all the stories that you're telling are your own, there's still a piece of you in all of them. So I would actually be extremely curious to know what like Miguel's recurring themes and
Me
questions
too.
are.
So no, I was gonna say I will definitely like take some time just to look back what I've done so far and see what patterns emerge.
Yeah. No. Okay. So I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. We're going to exit the little mini therapy session that this turned into, and I'm not even sure which one of us is the therapist because I know I'm learning a lot. Um,
Yeah, let's shake it
so
off. Let's all
I
shake it off.
shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Okay, so I thought it would be really fun to play a little bit of a game with you. So I know that you have a web series called Painful Watching. Um, it's really, really great. Do you actually, it's your web series. Do you want to tell the listeners what it is?
Yes, yes, definitely. So it is a comedy web series that was inspired by a guy I saw on YouTube who just gets stung by animals, like by ants and wasps, and he just records the whole process, and he's really funny. Like he's like very over the top, being like, "Oh my god, it hurts so much," whatever. And he's trying to walk you through the pain he's feeling. And when I saw it, I was like, "That's hilarious." So I thought like I was gonna make a parody of that with movies. That I was gonna try to figure out the 10 movies that are so bad that when you watch them, you feel pain in your body.
Yeah.
And I was gonna have like an adventurous character kind of look alike, just finding movies and watching them, and then being like this guy on YouTube, just being like, "Oh, I'm feeling so much pain."
No. I've watched all the episodes. I'm a big fan. All right, so we're going to play a little bit of a game with you. We thought that it would be fun to use the film suck scale from your web series and see which one of us could name the worst movie. So we're going to go around. Everybody is going to pick the worst movie that they can think of. And then we're going to rate each one of them and see who's closest to number one or who gets number one. Does that sound cool?
Wait, before we start, I have a question. For this scale, because you're the expert. So is like exactly do you rate this? Like what is 10 mean and what does 1 mean? You know what I mean?
Oh, because in the show we did a countdown from like 10 to 1, meaning that you are ranking basically a worst movie is number one, and then you go finding your way up to the worst movie. So it'll be a top 10, but of the 10 bad movies.
Okay, so number 1 is the worst. Got it. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to clear that up.
Okay. I mean, I think I'm gonna quote unquote cheat a little bit because I have to go with the one I did for my show for the web series, which is because I cannot really think of a more horrible movie, which is called Dragon Ball Evolution, and it is the adaptation that 20th Century Fox did of the hit Japanese TV show Dragon Ball, which I happen to be a very big fan of. Um, so for me, it was very personal, and I know a lot about the material. So when I saw it, everything that they did wrong was baffling to me. And I saw it as a young boy, I was maybe like 20, three. I don't know. Like it was before I got into film, but it was very hard to watch. Yeah, so that'd say that that is my.
I love that we're finding out what a big Dragon Ball Z fan you are too. Don't worry, I was too. I've never seen that movie, but I was also a pretty big fan.
Oh, okay.
Do you think your perspective and like your the fact that you maybe went into it with high hopes because you were a fan of Dragon Ball Z kind of skewed the data a little
Ooh, I think
bit?
that should factor into the rating. Do you think that if somebody has never seen the show and then they watch that movie, do you think that they would enjoy it?
See, I feel like because I've never seen Dragon Ball Z, so I feel like I would enjoy it because I would have no expectations of what I'm about to watch.
Uh, I don't think so. I think what Janelle is bringing is a very good point, because you're saying I had high expectations, but the thing is that I didn't, because I was very aware of behind the scenes. I was very aware of casting. I was very aware of a lot of things. So I knew it was gonna be a train wreck. It was just worse than I could have possibly imagined. But definitely, I think any person, average person, can appreciate how poorly written and how poorly acted, and there's a lot of negative things about the movie that I think you need to be familiar with the source material.
Okay, okay. So for the rating on that one, where would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being or 1 being the worst.
One.
You're gonna give it a 1? Okay, okay. Okay, I'm gonna say it's my turn, and I'm gonna see if I can top you because mine's
Okay.
actually a similar thing. I don't know if any of you have seen The Last Airbender by M. Night Shyamalan. That's my one because, and again, I same as you, I was a huge fan of the cartoon growing up. Like I was like I think that his kids watched the TV show and he's heard parts of it on in the background and then tried to make it into a movie. Like it didn't follow it. I'm going to say culturally insensitive casting, so it also has that going for it. Very poorly written dialogue.
Okay.
I'm going to give that
I've seen
my
it.
one.
I've seen it. I agree. It's a very, very similar situation. It's a very similar situation. It's a movie that is incredibly poorly made. It's a movie that doesn't make a lot of sense, even if you're not familiar. Because see, I have not really watched the Last Airbender TV show. I've seen some episodes. Yeah, I know,
You
I know,
have
I
to.
know.
You have to. That's your
It's on
homework. You
Netflix.
have to. I'm literally since it's on Netflix, I'm making everybody watch it.
It's on Netflix. But even without having that context, I saw the movie. The movie is, like you say, the dialogue, and the casting is, like, the acting is really bad. Like you cannot the layer of the insensitive casting, but the acting is really bad on top of that. So
Yeah. Okay, okay. So we have a tie.
yeah, we have a
We have a
tie.
tie
So
for number 1. Okay,
I'm gonna be
Janelle.
honest, neither of yours sound that bad. Like they really don't.
what?
But I like bad movies. Like I'm gonna like generally admit that like I like bad movies. Like if it has cheesy over the top acting, like bad special effects, like I'm so into that. But mine is I don't know if anybody's seen this, but this came out of years ago. And it is Paul Blart Mall Cop.
I haven't. Yeah.
Oh,
And I also want to just
that's a
add, just
curveball.
to the pain of the movie. I don't know if this factors in on the scale. I saw it on Valentine's Day.
Ooh. Ooh, I feel like I feel like she gets a little bit of an advantage given the setting. What do
No,
you think, Miguel?
definitely that could be the equivalent to having, in Megan's, and in my case, we have the source material that we're very passionate about. In your case, you have Valentine's Day. So I think it makes it.
Exactly. That's what made the experience extra bad.
But here's the thing,
Okay,
because I'm gonna
go for
ask you a question. I keep saying, oh, we should ask more questions. So I'm gonna ask you a question. So you say you like bad movies, therefore you like this movie.
No, I like bad movies that other people think are bad. There's a difference. There's like
it.
actual bad movies, and there's bad movies that other people think are bad. There's two categories.
No, and I will just to like jump on that little bit of philosophy you're giving to us right now that you're serving up to us. I legitimately do like hate watching things. Like I will say that like if people like I'm not gonna lie, I loved Cats.
I haven't seen
It
it.
is I'm not gonna lie, it's like it's just I do think that there is a classification of bad movies that curves back around into being good again, like The Room.
Yeah.
We know The Room, right? Like The Room is so bad that it's actually good again. And I have like a little bit of a theory that, and I'm saying this on the podcast right now, so people know that I said it before it happened. I think that Cats is going to be like the next Room. I think that people are going to dress up as cats and go to theaters and see it, and they're gonna give standing ovations to Judy Dench, and they're gonna bring bowls to lick when Suri McKellen licks a bowl. Like I think that it is going to turn into one of those interactive experiences like The Room and Rocky Horror and stuff.
Oh, I would hate that.
So I think there's a place for bad movies. There's like you're right. It's like two different kinds of categories.
But then, I mean, you could also just argue, are there any bad movies if we're enjoying them while watching them?
What do you think, Miguel?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think there are bad movies, and I have a hard time watching bad movies. Like I cannot really enjoy bad movies. I guess I've been spoiled somehow in the process. Like let's say The Room. Like I've seen The Room, but like with people and like in the movie theater, and everybody freaking out, and I couldn't even see a movie because everybody was yelling and throwing
Yeah.
spoons. So it was a great time, but like I don't think I could sit and watch The Room by myself.
Okay, okay. No, and that's a good point because I will also completely say that like I would not watch Cats or The Room by myself. I like okay, so like maybe like there are such a thing as bad movies, but they could still be turned into good experiences.
Yeah,
Except Mall Cop. There's no. Even if you're watching that with someone, trust me, it's still not a good time.
but Janelle, just because I've never seen the movie, I've seen the trailer and I refuse to see it based on the trailer. But can you tell me very quickly what is it so bad about this movie that you
We need the
dislike?
Oh,
thesis
there's
statement.
just no plot. It's just you're just watching a guy go on like a little Segway the whole time yelling at kids. Like that's the movie. Like it's all just bits. It's all just stupid bits with what's his name? Kevin James. That's it.
Kevin James. Yeah.
So I feel like mine and Miguel's had extremely ruined plots, whereas it sounds like Janelle's didn't have a plot at all. So I think that in order to decide the winner, and maybe this, as we have learned from this conversation, is a question to ask ourselves, but maybe not have an answer to. Is it worse to have something you loved from your childhood ruined? Or is it worse to have a perfect Valentine's date night ruined?
To be fair, it wasn't perfect to begin with, but I like the question.
Oh, no, because if you want to break up the tie, what we can do is each one of us can rank the three movies from worst to best
Ooh.
based on how you like. You have to sit and watch them. In which order would you be? Like for me, I rather watch first the cop movie with Kevin James, and then watch Avatar. And Dragon Ball Evolution is the last one that I never wanna watch again.
Okay, okay. So my list would be I would actually say Dragon Ball Z just because now I'm extremely curious and I did grow up with those cartoons. And then I would say Mall Cop and then Avatar is at the bottom. I will not watch that one again. So,
Okay.
I'm like I really actually want to watch both Dragon Ball Z and Avatar. like like I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like they both like